I am Izzy Noodles, welcome back to The Angel Within, and today we are journeying to familiar locations. We will have a diary update, however I'm not sure exactly when that pops up because we don't get a notification for it. I know at which point it will be there, but I don't know in between where it actually spawns in. So I'll probably keep taking a peek to see the first moment we will see it. Okay, so I did forget to take a look. I kind of just got carried away with playing the level. I forgot to check the diary update, so here it is. I'm just throwing it in here now. The dragon I found in Thailand clearly resembles the Xi'an myth of a dragon. This must be a clue. So yeah, this is the hint that Lara needs to go to China to revisit the Great Wall. But anyway, we are at the Great Wall. So you may be able to jump up the rocks on this side. I haven't actually tried. I do just use the intended way over here. So sneakily hidden away in this corner is where we can start climbing up. So relatively easy hops and jumps. There's no secret in this area. Careful of that low ceiling there. And there will be a crow at some point up here. Sitting on the roof right now, I just saw it. Okay, get rid of that because it can be a bit of a nuisance. There we go, and in we come. So just here we can go ahead and hop down here. However, you will want to grab the edge because essentially the floor is lava. You don't want to drop down. That will be instant death. And we're going to have a bit of a leap of faith. We need to get to this lowest point here and then hop back to grab some monkey bars. Lara won't grab the monkey bars if she's too high on that section. Okay, and next we need to get this gate open. So this is a pretty tough timed run to do. I don't believe this is timed in the original, but I'm not sure. So yeah, this is pretty snug. I do find it best just to do a full tile running jump. So kind of hop to the corner, go into a running jump, and then another running jump. And carefully through the gate. You don't want to bump into the wall. Yeah, it's probably going to take a few attempts. If you want to try the half tile, if you're playing for yourself, give it a go. But I prefer the full running jump personally in this spot. There we go, and it amuses me that actually we do trap the bird inside. So, moving on, we have another crow over here. Just go ahead and shoot that. It will come over here. There it is. Okay, and of course we will need a key for the keyhole ahead, which you can't see because of the forced camera. There we go. And if you're going into autopilot knowing Tomb Raider 2 so well, you'll just hop straight into the water down below, I'm sure. However, if I just come back on myself a little bit, this camera angle does annoy me. There we go. If I hop behind this wall and run along, we have a secret right here. However, there is nothing to pick up, not even a cross. There's actually no crosses in this level, and I don't really know why. So this does count in the statistics as a secret, so we are going to count it, and also it's easily missable because you wouldn't think to look over here with, you know, if you know the original so well. So I think that's, you know, very smart to put secrets in different places. So of course you're definitely going to miss it if you're not thinking to look around. So yeah, we'll count it, and now is the time to hop in and look for the key. And actually, if I show you that across the way, there is a key sitting right there. So hop in, careful of the boulder, because there is a boulder up above. Don't know if I'll end up triggering it. I don't know where the trigger tile is. Sometimes it falls, sometimes it doesn't. So you may end up checking out this passage, however there's nothing in it. So we'll just climb out of the water. There is nothing in here. And I'll go ahead and leave that tiger be because, well, it's not really going to come over here and we're not going over there. So no need to be pestering it. But we're going to start climbing up, and to do that we need to be over on the opposite side of the tiger, so no need to go near the tiger at all. And then come into this passage. So there's a few chances to, you know, just kind of fall and die and get hurt in here. There's a few blind jumps. So there is a column hanging from the ceiling, kind of like a stalactite kind of thing. We are going to hop back to that column, but it's hard to tell it's there, and then there's a rope that you'll need to know is there as well. So not tricky, but if you're playing for the first time, it's hard to know where you're supposed to jump to. So this can be kind of tricky, sort of easy to get hit, so just time your jump over to this rope. And there is a crack in the ledge straight ahead I'm aiming for. So from the bottom of the rope, just time it so you're swinging just as... Okay. I had a failed recording as well, and that still happened. It's the curse of recording, because it's not happened before. Yeah, I was just making a bunch of silly mistakes, so I didn't really enjoy where that recording was going, but hey, look, I'm still making silly mistakes. Yeah, time it so you can... Oh my goodness. Well, I'm gonna try again. That still wasn't very good. There we go. That actually took me a few attempts. That went surprisingly badly. Yeah, just... I, for some reason, wasn't getting the momentum that I really wanted to have on that first swing, and I don't know why. But anyway, once you've shimmied all the way to the furthest tile you can go to, just do this blind hop backwards to this edge, shimmy all the way around, and then to the rope that I pointed out. At least there's no blades in front of this rope. This is an easy swing across. There we go. Awesome, so straight out to here. Careful with this hop over to here. And we have made it to this key. However, I don't know if I did mention that this is not the key that's going to be used on that keyhole. And this view is awesome. How cool is this? So, we haven't yet found the key that we're after. This key is to be used down here. So just open up this room with this, and inside here is the key we're looking for. So rush past these spikes because they actually activate once you get onto that tile space, not before. So that's kind of weird and trippy. And again, you do not want to be touching the ground. So these jumps around here are again relatively easy, however there's always room for error. So I seem to be having some bad luck today, so I'd feel better saving the game just there. So you can easily see this gap in the ledge, so up to here and all the way around. And then there is a little bridge section above me with some monkey bars, so just hop back up to the monkey bars. And we can see another gap in the ledge, so I'm going to drop to there. Okay, and around to the flat spot. Awesome. And it does look like there's a couple of different ways to go. It looks like you can grab that gap in the ledge and hop on up to there. We're aiming for the column by the blade. I do tend to go for the pole. Just, you know, no preference for any reason. I just, you know, it seems fun. So from the pole, if you hop up to grab, it's 5 more shimmies up. And then Lara's head will be pretty close to the next tile space that you can see there. This is the lowest point you want to be, otherwise Lara won't hop onto here. So yeah, another kind of tricky jump thanks to this saw blade. I know I just saved it, but I am having some bad luck today. So just to make myself feel better. So to stop yourself swinging so much, just climb on up here. And then just turn a little bit, just so you're sort of aimed for this very edge. It's hard to know exactly what angle to be at, but this is another spot where you need to be kind of precise with this jump. So from here, come up 1 space, so that if you're too low down here, you can overshoot this edge. So you may land on this bridge section, or you may need to grab the edge. Oh. Ooh, you don't want to go back too much. I didn't even really want to go back at all, but I did not get enough swing on that first swing forward. I never would have made that. So that blade can be very annoying. That looked very easy. Trust me, it's not. So from here, we're heading up on top of this column. Here we go. I've come to the edge because this plant is an obstacle. Incredibly annoying if you've gone to do a running jump and then jumped and it's like, no, I don't want to jump from there because the plant has stopped you running forward. Yeah, the amount of times I've died because of that plant. But here we go, we have the key, thank goodness. Now we need to get back down. So there's possibly numerous ways down, but the way I do it is just hop back to here and then come to the edge and do a fake grab to get down there. And then I tend to just roll onto this flat tile. The lower down you are, the less likely you are to take damage. You can take damage rolling from there if you're on the higher spot. And it's kind of hard to see the edge from this side, but grab this edge again. Awesome, and then easily head back over. So as I'm coming around this corner, you'll end up seeing a gap in the wall. Actually, you can't see it unless I look over to the wall, so that's where I'm heading to next. There we go, and shimmy around. There we go, just mind the spike trap. Awesome, and then just back down this way. Just make sure to grab as you're sliding to avoid just sort of flying off unintentionally. And here we go. So come on in, there will be a few rats round and about. I'm not sure where exactly they will be, but they are around. Just kind of make my way up and around and they find me. So I believe it's maybe 2 up there, it might be 3, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's some shotgun shells here and you can use that ladder if you want. Most people just tend to hop on up, like so. And then grab the key for this door down below. Awesome, come on in. We have some creepy crawlies behind us. I say creepy crawlies, they're not spiders, they're rats again. Okay, just grab this medpack. And the situation here is we need to unblock this opening so we can get through. So, first thing I'm going to do is just push this highest block further away. Next, I need to push the high block out to one side, so I'm just going to put these low blocks either side of it. Okay, and now this middle block, I'm just going to push that further back to give me room to pull this last block away. There we go, the opening is clear, let's go. So there are some dart traps here, however they are above your head, you are completely safe. And pit stop, just walk into this corner for another secret. Again, there is nothing to pick up in this gap, but it does count in the statistics. Okay, so of course this is where it gets exciting. So pit stop save in case it goes wrong. Also, just to explain, there are a few items that can be seen in TR view, however I haven't seen them anywhere actually within the game. It's hard to be able to pick them up anyway, pretty much kind of impossible. So there is one item you can see lying around, which is revolver ammo, but I highly recommend to just leave them behind. I mean, it's up to you, but I will be leaving them behind. So run from the boulders, and then we get these the spike walls. Okay, here we go. Hop on up away from them. So one place it shows there might be an item, which definitely there is not an item, is right at the end of these jumps. Also, you probably did see that there was the revolver ammo just down here. I might feel silly for not saving, I might die, but we'll see how it goes. So I like to just do this next section in one anyway. Just run forward, avoid the gaps, and sprint for just a second here, or just die. That didn't go as planned. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, sprint for a second right at this spot, and she didn't actually sprint either, but then go into a jump. You probably will take some damage just there, that's fine. And let go and grab there, because you need to be able to turn in the air there, where I did turn, and I just avoided that spike trap. So that takes some practicing. But now come on through, there's no blades or anything round about, there's just a very slow tiger on his way. Gotcha. So there is the classic T-Rex secret, however, I'm just going to spoil it for you now, there's no T-Rex down there, but we can still go and grab a secret. So right here on this spot is where you want to drop down so that you can land safely on this tile. And come on in. Okay, grab the wall. Suppose I did that the long-winded way. So then from here, just make your way down. Awesome. So there may not be a T-Rex, but there are a ton of tigers. Because they're so slow, I am just going to opt for my pistols. They're coming, but if they get too close, just back off of this tile that I'm on right now, and then they'll lose sight of Lara. And I do believe there are 7. Okay. Killed Mummy and Daddy and Baby and Grandpa. So right in the corner, again there is no cross, however this time we do have a shotgun. Oh, I seem to... I don't know what happened there, oh my goodness. Okay, so you may or may not want to bother with a flare, it's up to you. You do get enough, don't feel like you're running out. So grab the ladder, and if you don't have a flare lit, or if it goes out, it will get pretty dark, like practically pitch black. Like you cannot see anything, kind of pitch black. But if you just keep climbing upwards, you'll eventually come into the light. Yeah, you see, it's pretty dark. We're high enough to be able to have that little bit of light that we can see the top of the ladder. So keep on going to be able to get out of here. Okay, and at this corner, do be careful because it can be easy to just run straight off and take a bunch of damage. There we go. And you may have already noticed there is no zip line this time. We have to actually make our way across the chasm. So pretty easy. You can climb back up if you want, however it is easy enough just to hop straight to this column. So next, just hang from the edge, and there is a ledge that's not easy to see, so let go and grab again. You can minimize damage by grabbing this, then let go, and you can hop to the next ledge. Easy hop to the next one. And this time I'm just turning around to make my way this way. Okay, and hopping this way, and do be careful here, there will be some slopey tiles. So what we need to do is just make sure you're sliding backwards. So I do kind of just, I'm paranoid I'm too far forward, but I jump forward with a twist to slide and grab. And then shimmy to the flat spot where you can pull up. Okay, over to here. So pretty basic jumps, it's just turning back and coming over to this side where you might get a little bamboozled. Awesome. No tigers either around here. And here we go. Run up to the door. Well, there's definitely nobody home. We gotta get this door open ourselves. What a swizz. So there is a little more to do before the level will end. So hop up to here to find the lever that's gonna open this. Ow. Usually she hits her head and doesn't fall all the way down. So we see a gate there. That one will not be opening. We won't be going that way. We'll need to do this kind of tricky jump up to this ledge. This can take a few attempts. There we go. And there is a passage here. There's a tiger roaming around. There it is. It's a little bit lost though, it walked into the wall. So that passage loops around to the closed gate, and as I've said, we won't be going that way, we don't need to. So just hop on down, you can completely avoid tiger, hop over this way, and this is the exit across the way. So we will need to produce a rope to be able to get across, so make your way over to this lever. Okay, and now we have a rope, we can hop back again. So if you do manage to drop into the gap below, there is no way out of there. You'll have to reload, unfortunately. So don't aim for that gap. You can get in there. I tried to see what was in there, even though I knew there's nowhere to go there. I was curious. But anyway, just run forward. And there we go, that is the Great Wall complete. So we do have 9 secrets just to confirm. So now let's see where we're gonna go next. So right now we are at the Tomb of Alexander, which actually is a St. Francis Folly level. So of course there's this more easy section to get into the high room itself. So this block is movable, however you don't need to move it, you're just using this to climb up these columns. And the first order of business, the first goal is we're going to get those gates open. So hopping to here, there is nothing over here. And there's some very narrow balcony jumps to do. It's very easy to either be too far left or too far right. If you're too far to the right, which you think is going to be the good thing, being close to the wall, you still don't make the jump. Like Lara just doesn't like to grab. So I'm just going to have a cautionary save here. There we go. I actually thought I was too close to the wall. I'm surprised Lara grabbed that. But here we go. This lever will open the gates on that balcony. So let's head straight there. I did quite a wide turn just there. Lara went a little out of control. Like a racing car. Okay, another narrow jump. Awesome. And in we come to pull this lever. Okay, and this is quite funny. You want to walk out because otherwise, like Lara just, even if you let go of forward, Lara does that. You need to turn to the side to stop her doing that. So just carefully walk out. She doesn't like that spot. But the lever I've just pulled has opened the gate you can see over on the right hand side to that central balcony. Kind of want to line up a little bit better. There is no exact lineup really. It doesn't feel like there is. Dang it. Right. See you back up at the top. Okay, so it wasn't that arduous to get back up here. Okay, so this gate has opened. You'll need to just hang from the left, from the ledge and shimmy to get to this lever. So quite iconically, the globe has fallen, which actually it doesn't add anything to the gameplay, but it's kind of cool that it's there. But it has opened the gate ahead, so we can now head that way. So there is the next gate up above that I still need to open. So that's where this block comes into play. It's kind of a funny old block. You need to move it away from the wall to then move it towards the gate. And then just push it straight forward as far as it will go, and it will be onto its unique tile. Awesome, so that gate is now open. There's just a couple more things to grab before heading that way. So in this dark little gap we have some Uzis. And to get up there anyway, you do want to climb up this way. There we go, but firstly I'm just gonna run over here onto this column that was a little out of control and to grab this secret. Nice. Okay, and now we're ready. Awesome, cautionary save incoming. So some of these ledges are a bit wily little rascals. So some of them you run and jump over to without a grab, otherwise she won't grab. She will easily land straight on the ledge without the grab. And then others it's a case of, well, she should have grabbed it. There's no reason for her not to have done. So you need to kind of be in the correct spot, which is just a bit silly. Also, these rooms are not named. So I'll be labeling them as northeast, south and west for ease. And I'm gonna pull the 3 levers that are up highest and then do those 3 rooms first, because the final lever, you can just see it way down below. It's on the ground floor, so from the 3rd room that I do, I can easily just drop to the ground floor with ease and then go ahead and pull that lever and do the final room. So firstly, let's hop to the middle. And I'm gonna go for that lever first, just because it will be easier to come back and then do those 2 rather than the other way around. So drop to the level below. You want to look before you drop because the floor pattern layout might not be lined up. Hop over to here. And this kind of blends in, that's a ledge there. And we can grab this medpack along the way. There we go, grab this gap. So a bit of a blind jump here, you need to hop backwards and do not climb up into this gap because this is kind of a small gap and Lara will she'll try and stand up but end up falling straight down because she's not got the room to actually stand here. So vault up to here and here we go. So this lever has opened the southern gate, and it's very handy that once you pull a lever and once a gate is open, you can just see the glow down. If you look at Laura's legs, there's an area with a glow. That is the gate I've opened. So these torches light up once a gate has been opened and once a lever has been pulled. So just here, do not grab for this ledge. She will land on it safely. There we go. And this jump is one of the chaotic ones. You want to ideally jump from here, this tile space, because if you over to the right, for some reason Lara won't grab. I do not know why. I mean, I should have known that was going to happen just because I'm recording. Okay, so if it makes you feel better, hop on the spot. Oh my goodness. Okay, don't hop on the spot then. This is a cursed spot to jump from. Okay, I really don't know why this ledge here is such a pain. Let's shimmy over a little bit. I'm still on the same tile space. Huzzah! Oh my god, we did it. Okay, so this lever has opened the eastern gate. To get to the lever below, you can't just drop down because the balcony sections are at different levels away from the wall. So hop to this slope and grab, and then there's a next gap below just there. Okay, hop behind and shimmy around to the lever. Awesome, so that is for the western room, and it is the west that I will do first. So just need to get to the middle. Oops. And then to here. Oh my goodness, Lara. What is going on with you today? Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of new things happening today. So there we go, we got it. So yeah, shimmy around. And then you can just drop straight on down. And here is the western room. Nice. So this room is actually the easiest of them all, and it is like super easy. So the key that we need is behind the closed gate, and the lever to open that is right up there. To get there, just find this ledge, hop on up, and jump on over, just grab in the air because there's a bit of a low ceiling that can knock you down, and pull the lever. Nice. First key in the bag. So they're not all this easy, by the way. Just so you know. Okay, so to get back, if you look at the edge of the ledge, there is this one tile space that does not have a lip like the rest of that ledge. So this is where you need to grab to. Okay, and then I'm gonna hop down and do the eastern room. So directly opposite the west, of course. Okay, so lots of spikes in this room. It's not so bad though. So just make your way to the further side of the room. There is also a secret to grab in the room before we leave. So find this section and run around here. Just going to open that gate at the top of the ramp. Just pull this out of the way. So you've probably got a feel for which room this one is. The previous room was kind of like the I don't know, the Thor's room with the hammer. Oh well, I think Thor was just in the original and then it was removed because that wasn't accurate. Here we go, just ignore that gap, continue along. And this is kind of like the spikes and columns room, so it's not actually as hard as previous ones. So actually, before I pull the lever, let me show you. Across the way is the gate that has the key behind it, and the lever will be timed. It will open that gate. So you don't need to rush too much, really. There is room for error. I will try and explain quickly as I go along though, because of course I don't want to run out of time. There we go, so hop to here, and when I land on this flat spot, try and be to the edge, and then you can just do a standing jump over to here. Let go and grab this, shimmy around to the other side. Okay, and then vault up, but do not climb. Hop back and hold jump to hop straight off. You may have seen a lever just on the wall as well as I was passing by. That's for the secret. There we go, and in we come. And be careful you don't run past this, because otherwise you'll have to do it all again. Alrighty, so now let's go grab the secret. So if it's easier, you can probably get the secret first, and then you have a calmer practice run across here, because the lever, well, you don't have to pull the timed lever to get to the secret lever. So that secret lever is timed. That's the gate, the secret gate on this wall. And you actually do need to get the secret and get out before the timer runs out, otherwise you will be trapped in that room. It is a very long lever, long timer though, so do not worry about that. So just very casual jumps now. So literally the same situation again until we get to the T-junction where we're going to go to the secret lever instead. I passed it so quick you may not even have noticed it. And did you see it? It's there. Yeah, you do see it just for a second. So I'm just going to have a cautionary save anyway. Okay, so sidestep away from the lever collision zone. There we go, and if you jump sooner rather than later, you do have space to go straight into another running jump. Awesome, and there's a lot of things in here, so you might think, oh my god, quickly, pick them up quickly. But don't worry. Do not worry about being trapped in here, as long as you've had a smooth run, which there's no reason really not to, unless you mess up at that last jump. The jumps are pretty simple. See, there we go. The gate is only just closing and I'm about to leave the room. Awesome. So the third room just over there, I actually need to go back up to get there. So there is the slope that I'm going to try and head to. I need to jump to the top of this that's right above me. This, I guess you'd call it a lintel. Straight up? Yep, just wanted to check before I hopped up. So relatively easy, hop on over with a grab. Okay, straight down from this spot. There we go. And then slide and make sure to jump at the end. And then just hop around the gate. Okay, so there is an invisible wall, so I can't run all the way forward. But interestingly, this is like the sand room from the Midas level. So there is this closed gate here, there's also a closed gate up above. The only way we can go is down. Just make sure to get out of the way because you are being chased by a boulder. And go ahead and pull this lever. Oopsie poopsie. What did that do? Well, it did open the two gates. So this one is open. I don't need to go in there really just yet. I will go to the highest one. I mean, you don't really need to go in there at all because that's kind of the return path. So we're going to make our way over to the key. So hop over this way. Whoop, curved a little bit, didn't mean to. Okay, and at the end just angle, because of there's a small gap here, you can't grab that where Laura is standing. So you'll need to aim here. And then vault straight up to here, climb on up. Easy jump to here. And then carefully we have this rope to grab, so make sure to take a step back before trying to hop to that. I will have a save before I do. So I'm gonna just climb to steady the rope. Awesome, and then the easy swing over to here. It's actually very hard to see the key. Hop to here. All the way around. Okay, let go and grab this next ledge and then just hop back to this flat spot. So the key is actually right up there. You will need to hop to the window ledge to get to there. And this is kind of a snug jump. You need to curve. I might be too close to the wall. I feel like I'm not gonna make it just because I'm recording. Ooh, I made it. Okay, and here is the key. Awesome stuff. Drop on down. And before leaving, there is a very easy secret to grab. Just sitting right at here. So we have some Uzis. Nice, and we're done. So just be careful of the hole in the floor as you leave. So if you want, you can come and grab the secret, but it just made sense to grab it on the way out. So that is 3 rooms down, 1 more lever to pull, and 1 more room to go. So we're almost done. So here we can easily just drop to the ground floor. And this is where we're going to be using the keys. So to get to the final lever, just run up this ramp. There we go, and this will open the northern door. So yeah, that's way back up at the top. How annoying. Ow. I didn't realise that was going to hurt. But also that lever opened this gate as well. There are 2 pickups of Uzi clips. So now let's get on climbing. Trying to think where I'm heading to. It is right above there. Oh my goodness, where am I? It's here, sorry. So I did climb up right here. This is where I want to be. And here we go, we made it. So to avoid these spikes, just move this block over one space so that we can climb into the gap right above. There we go, and to drop on down, do not safety drop. You're too close to the spikes and they will kill you. So you'll have to sacrifice a bit of health and just run straight off. And yeah, there's a few swords in the ceiling, so this would be the sword room. I like the blend here. So this looks kind of chaotic. It's not as bad to get past as it looks, or as, at least as I'm gonna make it look, probably. So yeah, it does take me a moment to feel the swing of it. Dang it! There we go, it's not that hard, but I do make it look very tricky. So anyway, in this back room, don't worry, there's nothing gonna fall down on your head. All you have to do is pull this lever. And actually, this is seriously easy peasy. So that swoosh that you saw go by, it wasn't a ghost caught on camera. It was this gate up in the corner swinging open. So easy jumps to get there. There are just a couple of items in this room to grab first. So really tricky to see. There's 2 shotgun shells and 2 Uzi clips within the spikes over there. There's no binoculars in this. I should have said that way sooner than now, but I can't even throw a flare that far for you to see. So to get rid of the spikes, there's a jump switch over here. And if you jump just right over there, you can actually grab the ledge, as long as you're not sort of too close, and climb on up and grab them without pulling the jump switch. But you know, you may as well just pull that jump switch and get rid of the danger. But there we go. So shotgun shells and Uzi clips here, and again on this next space. Awesome. So now let's go grab that key. So very easily we can hop onto this, and you know what? I don't even know if the lever raised up this or whether this was already here. Something I probably should take note of, really. But anyway, we have these very easy jumps around, unlike Tomb Raider Anniversary. There we go, the final key. So we have Amethyst, Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire in that order. So just mind these spikes that are straight down below. You'll just probably need to jump straight on out to make sure you're going to avoid them. And now to get back out, we can see it. There's a jump switch on this side. So just pull the jump switch. And the spikes have been removed and we can leave. Easy peasy. Okay, so now we just need to safely get down to the ground floor. Okay, I wanted to grab that, but never mind. It's fine. Okay, tiny bit of damage here. So I'm still pretty good. Lots of accidental damage, but hardly really. Not worth worrying about. I do kind of wish the builder had chosen a less bright image for the menu. Like, I like the design, but it's just a shock. Awesome. So come on in and drop on down into the water. So we do have a current pushing us along. Okay, and there is this enormous area to explore, but again, as I've already mentioned, it's like a wasted opportunity on items. There's so much that could have been put down here to find, which encourages you to explore the area that's been created. Like, there's a whole, like, ledge over there, and yet nothing over there. But anyway, swim into this tiny gap here. And here is the lever that will open the gate above. Swim back on out. And here we go, we can just go ahead and exit this level. I prefer to save it sometimes when there's like a little scene to go into the next level. It's like I can easily come back to that. But yeah, you'd imagine there'd probably be some enemies of some sort here, but no, there is nothing, so just head on through. And there we go, that's another level in the bag. So again, just to confirm, at this point we have 12 secrets. So next time we will again go to a familiar location. I'll not tell you where it is, you'll have to guess. So thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take it easy.